Hello, I'm John Weiler with the Sovereign Passage Assembly, and this is our daily brief for December 3rd, 2018. We are beginning a new study going into this next Sabbath, another wonderful day, and we're going to, throughout this week, we're going to study the portion of the Torah, and we're going to break it down, and it's Parashah Vayishlach, and that means, and he sent. The reading for this week is Bere'shiyth, or Genesis, chapter 32, verse 4, to chapter 36, verse 43. Yeah, we have left Yaakov. He has just left his uncle, or his uncle just left him, I guess. They had made a cut a Bere'shiyth, or a covenant, that neither one of them would pass beyond Gilad, Mount Gilad, which is, Gilad means heap, to do either one of each other harm. And angels of ELOHIYM had come and met Yaakov. And when Yaakov saw them, they said, "This is Elohim's host," and he called the name of that place Manakim, or Naim. And Yaakov sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir. And that's where we ended. Okay, and I want to kind of make a note here that the word angel is malach. Okay, that's the word, is malach. That means messenger. And that's Strong's H4397. So, what we can read here is in that the messengers of Elohim met Yaakov on his way. So, chapter 32, verse 1. And when Yaakov saw them, he said, "This is Elohim's host," or group, or encampment. And he called the name of that place Naim, which means double camp. So, two camps. Okay, then he sent his messengers. Yaakov sent messengers before him. And he tells them what to say. So we're going to begin here. We're going to start on verse 4. And we're going to end today on verse 32. So we're just going to read chapter 32. So verse 4, it says, "And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Your servant Yaakov says thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants and women servants. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in your sight. And the messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, We came to your brother Esau, and also he comes to meet you, and 400 men are with him. And Yaakov was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into two bands, and said, If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Yaakov said, O Elohai of my father Abraham, and Elohai of my father Yitzhak, Yahweh which said unto me, Return unto your country and unto your kindred, and I will deal well with you. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies, and of all the truth which you have showed unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Yarden, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And you said, I will surely do you good, and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine, 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hands of his servants. Every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meets you, and asks you, saying, Whose are you, and where you go, and whose are these before you? Then you shall say, They be your servant Yaakov's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau. and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third and all that followed the drove, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when you find him. And say ye moreover, Behold, your servant Yaakov is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face. Perchance he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 women and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Yaakov was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Yaakov's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaks. And he said, I will not let you go, except you bless me. And he said unto him, What is your name? And he said, Yaakov. And he said, Your name shall be called no more Yaakov, but Yashar'el. For as a prince you have power with ELOHIYM, and with men, and have prevailed. And Yaakov asked him and said, Tell me, I pray you, your name. And he said, Wherefore is it that you do ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Yaakov called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen ELOHIYM face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Yashar'el eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Yaakov's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Okay. All right. That's some very interesting accounts here. So let's go back and let's start at the beginning here. I have notes here that'll be up on the Sovereign Passage website that you can download if you would like to use the notes from this Parsha with your teachings. Okay, if you do a at-home teaching of your family or to use it for yourself. So on verse 4 and 5, Yaakov commands his messenger to state, Your servant Yaakov says thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now, and I have oxen and asses, flocks and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord that I might find grace in your sight. Okay, so he's coming back, and for what he had taken from his brother. Okay, he stole the blessing, not the birthright. The birthright's the way of Yahweh. All right, and that's passed from father to son. And Esau is firstborn, but he had no interest at all in the birthright, the way of Yahweh. Okay, so we studied that before, and that's, we get in 2 Esdras that Esau is the end of this world, and Yaakov is the beginning of the life to come. So we have to pay attention here because, as Esau was born, Yaakov was hanging on the heel of Esau. So if Esau is the things of this world, and Yaakov is the things of the world to come, the life to come. We need to start to look at things in that manner here with this account, this whole entire account, because I have found it found it very challenging, So anyways, he's pleading or looking to appeal to his brother. Okay, so he didn't steal the birthright, but he did steal the blessing. All right, so what he did is he listened to the words of his mother Rivkah, and said, Dad's going to catch me. I don't sound like Esau. I'm not like Esau. So Dad's going to know, and he's going to know I lied to him, and I'm going to bring a curse on myself. And she said, your curse will be on me, my son. Just listen to me. Hearken to my words. And he says, okay. And he goes and dresses up as Esau, becomes as man, as the man of this world, and by doing so lies to his father and steals the blessing too, which is the richness of this world. Okay, the blessings of this world. which we find out, which we know now, is really a curse. Okay, it's a curse to us, or a potential curse to us, because it takes us away from the way of Yahweh. That's our eye looking after the things of the flesh, the things of this life, this world. And that takes us away from Yahweh. Right? We need to be single-minded. Okay, with our eye is seeing singly the way of Yah, then we have light. Okay, what is inside of us is light. But if we are seeking after the lust of the flesh, then our light becomes darkness. And how deep is that darkness? That's what Yahusha tells us. So, got to pay attention here, because he's also taking things of this world now to appeal back to the man of the world. Okay, and he's looking for grace in his sight. Verse 6 to 8, the messengers return to Yaakov and says, "We came to your brother Esau, but he also comes to you, and he has 400 men with him." And Yaakov was greatly afraid, and he divides his people up into two groups. That way he's thinking, we can read this very pragmatically, that if Esau attacks one company, the other can get away. So not everybody's going to be taken at once. Then he petitions to to Yahweh, and he prays, "O Elohai of my father Avraham, and Elohai of my father Yitzhak, Yahweh, which said unto me, return unto your country and unto your kindred, and I will deal well with you." And he says, "I am not worthy of the least of all mercies, and of all the truth which you have shown unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Yarden," for this river, "and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. And you said, I will surely do you good and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for the multitude." So he starts off and he says, he's a reminder here. It's not as if he's reminding Yahweh, but he's speaking for where he is in this situation, where Yahweh tells him to return to the country, your kindred, and I will deal well with you. Okay, so we see this, we can read this in a number of ways, and for what the word says, he starts off with a reiteration of what Yah had told him, okay, which was the promise that I'll bring you back here. And he says, "I am not worthy of the least of all mercies, and of all the truth which you have shown unto your servant." Okay, we know truth is the way of Yahweh. Okay, and all the truth which you have showed unto Yaakov. "For with my staff I passed over this Yarden, and now I become two bands. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And you said, I will surely do you good, and make your seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for the multitude." Now we're going to see at the end of this chapter where his name becomes Yashar'el, which is the upright of El. But we can also see what happens here to Yashar'el. So they pass over the Jordan River. They become two nations. They end up fighting because they are of the world. Okay? He says, "Deliver, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau." Okay, so deliver me from the hand of the world. I feel that they will come and smite me and the mother and the children. And that's exactly what happens to Yashar'el. They become as the other nations around them, and then the nations come in and take them away. Because Yah divorced them. Because they turned away from Yah. Okay, that's what happens. And we see that here in this prayer that's being said by Yaakov. And it also should still be the prayer for us today. Because we know the truth and we know the way that we do not want to get swallowed up by the things of this world. Because then we die. And we were dead already. But by his mercies that we are not worthy of, and of all the truth that he has shown to us, we are now living, we're on the path to life, as we're seeking righteousness. So we don't want to get ensnared back in the way of the world, the death that we came out of. Okay, so we should always be praying that to deliver from the hand of Esau, Edom, okay, of Adam, of man, of this life. Okay, so verse 13 and 23, Yaakov lodged there for the night, prepares gifts for Esau, his brother, 200 she-goats, 20 rams, 30 milch camels with colts, 40 kine, 10 bulls, and 20 she-asses with 10 foals. He breaks those up into groups or droves. So there's 6 of them. And he sends them off each on their own. And he says to his servants, pass before me and put a space between from drove to drove. And when Esau, my brother, meets you and asks you, saying, whose are you and where go you and whose are these before you? And you say, they be your servant Yaakov's, It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And Yaakov commanded the droves that follow behind to do the same, said, behold, that your servant Yaakov is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face. Perchance he will accept of me. Okay, so he's giving him things like as things come. So like they got one group of presents and another group of presents, and each time this happens, the servants who are delivering them will have an instruction that goes forth from Yaakov, saying it's from him, from your servant Yaakov, and he is behind us, he is coming, and perhaps you will accept him. Okay. And then he sends his women and sons over the ford of Jabbok. And Jabbok means pouring forth. That's the word Jabbok, and that's Strong's H2999. Then we have an account here of Yaakov being alone and wrestles with a man all night long. Man in the Ivrit tongue or the Hebrew tongue is Ish, and that's Strong's H376. And he just comes out of nowhere. So Yaakov is alone. We have to pay attention here. He's alone, and it's also at night. And this man comes out and begins to wrestle with him. So he's in the dark, he's alone, and a man's wrestling with him, Ish. Touches Yaakov's thigh and dislocates his thigh as he wrestles with him. Okay, so the man dislocates his thigh. So where Yaakov, Yashar'el, is the upright of El. So if we're walking in the ways of Yah, we are walking straight on that path, upright. Okay, not leaning to one side because our hip has been dislocated. Okay, but the man has touched the hip and dislocated that hip. Okay, so the wrestling match that's occurring here, okay, between a man at night when Yaakov is alone. And the man says, let me go, for the day breaks. Now the day is breaking. And Yaakov replies, I will not let you go except you bless me. And the man says, what is your name? So he asks the man to bless him. And the man says, what is your name? And Yaakov replies, Yaakov. And the man says, your name shall no longer be Yaakov, but Yashar'el. For as a prince have you power with ELOHIYM and with men, and have prevailed. Power with ELOHIYM and with men, and have prevailed. And Yaakov asks him, please tell me your name. He says, tell me, I pray you, your name. And the man says, wherefore it is that you ask after my name. And the man blesses him there. And then Yaakov calls the place Penuel, saying, I have seen ELOHIYM face to face, and my life is preserved. And Penuel means face of El. That's Strong's H6439. So Re'ah, to see, ELOHIYM, panim, face, nefesh is the breath or the breath of life. Natsal is snatch away. Okay, those are the words in the Ivri tongue. Re'ah, panim, nefesh, natsal. Okay, to see ELOHIYM, face, breathing creature, to snatch away. Okay. I have seen ELOHIYM face to face, and my life is preserved. Yaakov passes over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. This gives us the account that the children of Yashar'el do not eat the sinew of the hollow of the thigh because of this. Okay. We got another account in Hosea. Let's read that real quick. I've had to do quite a bit on this. I've taken quite a bit of time anyways on this particular account, and how important it is. I felt it just being really impressed on me, the importance of what is happening here. So let's go to Hosea chapter 11, and we're going to read chapter 11 through chapter 12, verse 6. And it says, when Yashar'el was a child, this is Yah, when Yashar'el was a child, then I loved him, and called my son out of Mitzrayim, out of Egypt. As they called him, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Baalim, and burned incense to graven images. I taught Ephraim also to go, taking them by their arms, but they knew not that I healed them. I drew them with cords of man, with bands of love, and I was to them as they that take off the yoke on their jaws, and I laid meat unto them. He shall not return into the land of Mitzrayim, but Asher shall be his king, because they refused to return. And the sword shall abide on his cities, and shall consume his branches, and devour them, because of their own counsels. And my people are bent to backsliding from me, though they called them to El Elyon, none at all would exalt him. How shall I give you up, Ephraim? How shall I deliver you, Yashar'el? How shall I make you as Admah? How shall I set you as Zeboim? My heart is turned within me. My repentings are kindled together. I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim. For I am El, and not man, the Holy One in the midst of you, and I will not enter into the city. They shall walk after Yahweh. He shall roar like a lion when he shall roar. Then the children shall tremble from the west. They shall tremble as a bird out of Mitzrayim, and as a dove out of the land of Asher. And I will place them in their houses, says Yahweh. Ephraim encompasses me about with lies, and the house of Yashar'el with deceit. But Yehuda yet rules with El, and is faithful with the Kodashim. Ephraim feeds on the wind, or the Ruach, and follows after the east wind. He daily increases lies and desolation, and they do cut a covenant with the Asherim, and oil is carried into Mitzrayim. Yahweh has also a controversy with Yehuda, and will punish Yaakov according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him. He took his brother by the heel and the womb, and by his strength he had power with ELOHIYM. Yea, he had power over the angel, and he prevailed. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Beit El, and there he spoke with us. Even Yahweh Eloi Zebaoth, Yahweh is his mention. Therefore turn to your Elohim, guard mercy and judgment, and wait on your Elohim continually. Okay, so Yaakov, Ephraim feeds on the wind. So this is will be the taking away of the northern tribes, which is also referred to as of Ephraim and Yashar'el. It says, if Ephraim feeds on the wind and follows after the east wind, he daily increases lies and desolation. And they do cut a covenant with the Asherim, and the oil is carried into Mitzrayim. Yahweh has also a controversy with Yehuda, and will punish Yaakov according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him. He took his brother by the heel and the womb, and by his strength he had power with Elohim. Yea, he had power over the angel, and he prevailed. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found him in Beit El, and there he spoke with us. Even Yahweh Elohai Zebaoth, Yahweh is his mention. Therefore turn to your Elohim, guard mercy and judgment, and wait on your Elohim continually. So, calls the man here an angel, all right, but we know that angel's Melech, which is messenger. Now, angels can be humans, okay, the messengers of Yah, speaking a message or coming with a message from Yahweh. They are also the angel of Yahweh, the messenger of Yahweh, so they can be spiritual beings here. This tells us it's a man. It's Ish. Okay, Strong's H376. Ish. So, what was happening around this time? What was going on with this wrestling match? Okay, there's a bigger context here. So he had just sent all of his gifts to his brother, okay, Esau, who's man. All right, Esau is Edom, and Edom is Adam, which is man. Okay, so he sent all of the gifts to him, and he is now he's acting very submissive and humble to him. And this man shows up at night. Okay, in the beginning, ELOHIYM created the heavens and the earth. And he says, let me get my page here. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Ruach Elohim moved upon the face of the waters, and Elohim said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And Elohim saw that the light, it was good. And Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness night, and the evening and the morning the first day. Okay, or we're echad, we're together, the evening and the morning. So what we have here is day and night. So where it says the evening and the morning were the first day, it actually means one. Okay, the evening and the morning were echad, or one. So we have the night and the dark together. Okay, so when our eye is single on the way of Yahweh, our body is full of light. But when our eye is on the lust of the flesh, our light becomes darkness. And how deep is that darkness? Yaakov was wrestling with a man at night. Well, wrestling with man at night. Okay, and the man could not prevail, so he dislocates his thigh. Okay, or he dislocates his thigh and still cannot prevail. So to dislocate his thigh, touches his thigh and dislocates it, he is no longer standing upright because of this dislocated thigh, all right, as he wrestles with him. Now we can look at this too as what would have been that blessing, all right, now is that curse, okay, which ultimately what we read in Husha, that's what takes Ephraim away, and then ultimately Judah too, Yehudah, is that they're making all these things with the countries around them as merchants, okay, as trade partners and whatnot. So they are blessed of Yahweh, but it's the things that they're blessed with, the physical things that take them away, and they become as the nations. There's no difference. They're called to be set apart, as Yahweh is set apart, but they're not. They're behaving just like the rest of the nations. They want that. They want to be as the rest of the nations. And so they become the rest of the nations. They're taken away and dispersed into them. Yehudah, Judah, is the same way, okay, but they leave and then they come back, okay, because they house, the Yerushalayim, the area where where we read a lot of these things, Bethel and Shalom, okay, which we read in this Parsha, but this is the area, though, that where the kingdom of Yehudah would have been physically located. And so they had the places where Yah's name was dwelling, but they were still not hearkening to the way of Yahweh. And so they were carried off, but then came back, but not in the fullness or the full sense, okay? So what they would say pretense, so things were changed, okay? But here we have Yaakov wrestling all night until the break of day, and then the man says, "Let me go, because the sun's coming." Okay, the light's coming. Let me go. And Yaakov says, "I'm not going to let you go except you bless me." Now, why would he ask a blessing of this man? Well, it says it's an angel here, first of all. And secondly, it just kind of shows up out of nowhere, all right? But, this is the account here. And he seems that he has to leave before the light comes. All right. Esau is the end of this world. Yaakov is the beginning of the world to come. Okay, we're in the darkness now. The light will return when Yahushua HaMashiach comes back. Okay, so when that light returns, that Yaakov will be preserved by Elohim. Okay, so Yaakov meaning Yashar'el. Okay, so your name is no longer Yaakov, but Yashar'el, the upright of El. For as a prince, you have power with Elohim and with men and have prevailed. Okay, so the power with Elohim. He says, I've seen the face of El. Okay, I've seen the face of El and came face to face with Elohim and my life is preserved. Okay, so that's Penuel. Face to face. Now, we have all kinds of accounts in here where Yah tells us that we cannot see his face and still live. Okay, face to face. He says, I have seen him face to face and my life is preserved. We have, I've just gone through some of the accounts here about what it means to come into contact with Yahweh in this way, face to face, where we see his face. And what does his face mean? Okay, so let's go to Shemot, Exodus chapter 33, verse 8. We'll start there at verse 8. It says, And it came to pass when Moshe went out into the tabernacle, that all the people rose up and stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moshe until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came, tabernacle. And it came to pass, as Moshe entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillars descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and Yahweh talked with Moshe. And all the people saw the cloudy pillars stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe face to face, as a man speaks unto his friend. Then he turned again into the camp, but his servant Yahushua, son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. So this is after the golden calf, and the tabernacle of assembly is taken out of the midst of Yashar'el and set outside. And Moshe calls it the tabernacle of assembly. And that's where he goes to convene with Yahweh, or the opposite. Okay, Yahweh comes there to convene with Moshe. And what we see here, though, is that when he enters into the tent or tabernacle of assembly, that's when Yah descends and speaks face to face with him. Okay, and this is a place that's already set apart. Okay, so the tabernacle of assembly is already set apart or holy. So everything in it is holy and set apart. And this is us. The Torah is Moshe. Okay, if we have a picture here of Torah's Moshe, then it's got Yahushua, son of Nun, departed not out of the tabernacle. Okay, Yahushua is our Yahushua, the son of Elohim, who will take us across the Yarden, will take us into the kingdom of Yahweh when he returns. Okay, so we have these pictures here of Moshe, the way of Yahweh, the Torah, the way of Yahweh. All right, and he was already in the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, which is already set apart and holy, which is what we are called to be, holy as he is holy, so we can house the Ruach HaKodesh and we can become Yakad, our one. So our Ruach and his Ruach can become one. And then our eyes single on his way and our light. Okay, so our light, our water, we become those living wells of water that spring up out of our mouths. Okay, so he was in a set apart place where he spoke face to face. Yah's face. Okay, face to face. And then he says, I want to know you. This is what Moshe says. I want to know who you are. He says, Moshe said unto El Yahweh, you say unto me, bring up this people, and you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray you, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, that I may find grace in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people. And he said, my presence shall go with you, and I will give you rest. And he said unto him, if your presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and your people have found grace in your sight? Is it not in that you go with us? So shall we be separated, I and your people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, I will do this thing also that you have spoken. For for you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name. And he said, I beseech you, show me your glory. That's what Moshe says. Okay, please show me your glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of Yahweh before you, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, you cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And Yahweh said, behold, there's a place, and then he puts him in the crack of the rock and passes by him. And he said, and when I take away my hand, and you shall see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. He said, no man see me and live. No man see me and live. Okay. Now, and we're talking right now, he's wrestling a man. Wrestling Ish. Okay? Wrestling a man. He's going back to Esau, who is Edom, which is man. Okay, he's going back there. This is Yaakov. But he says, no man can see my face and live. Okay, so his face, Yah's face, the face of Yahweh. His face of Yahweh is, let's go to Bamidbar, chapter 6, verse 22. It says, and Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his son, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Yashar'el, saying unto them, Yahweh bless you and guard you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Yashar'el, and I will bless them. Okay, so his face here, on this wise, this way, shall you bless the children of Yashar'el, saying, Yahweh bless you and guard you. Guard you. And Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And Yahweh lift up his panim, his face, countenance upon you, and give you peace. Guard you, gracious unto you, peace. Okay, that's the face of Yah. These are some of the things of the face of Yah. Okay, Husha. All right, let's go to John really quick, because we're talking about the face of Yah. Face of Elohim. Elohim, the master of many powers. Yahweh, I am that I am, or I will be that I will be. All right, Yehukanan, Gospel of John 1, chapter 1, verse 15 says, Yehukanan bore witness of him and cried, this is he of whom I spoke. He that comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. Speaking of Yehukanan the immerser. And of his fullness we have all we received in grace for grace. And of his fullness have all we received in grace for grace. For the Torah was given through Moshe. Grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach. No man has seen Yah at any time. The Yachid, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. Okay? The Yachid, Yahushua HaMashiach, his beloved son. Okay, that's what Yachid means. We are also called to be Yachad, beloved sons, as Mashiach is. Okay? Which means the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit of Elohim, the Holy Spirit, dwells within us, and ours and his are one, Yachad. Okay? Just like Moshe standing in the tabernacle. All right, for the Torah was given through Moshe, and grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach. No man has seen Yah at any time. The Yachid, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared Yahweh. Okay? By being the fullness of the way of Yahweh, to being the way that we are to be. All right? The fullness, how we are to live, to be holy as Yah is holy. All right, we'll go to 1 John chapter 4. It says, Beloved, believe not every spirit or ruach, but try every ruach, whether they are of Yah, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the Ruach Yahweh, that every Ruach that confesses that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of Yahweh. And every Ruach that confesses not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is that Ruach of anti-Mashiach or Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now it is already in the world. Ye are of Yahweh, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Okay, greater than he that is in you than he that is in the world. Okay, for what Yaakov was wrestling with there. They are of the world. Before speak they of the world, and the world hears them. We are of Yah. He that knows Yahweh hears us. He that is not of Yahweh hears us not. Hereby we know the Ruach Ameth, and that the Ruach of error, so the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of Yah, and everyone that loves is born of Yah, and knows Yahweh. He that loves not knows not Yah, for Yah is love. In this was manifested the love of Yahweh towards us, because that Yahweh sent his Yaqid into the world that we might live through him. Herein is love, not that we loved Yahweh, but that he loved us, and sent his Son to be our propitiation for our sins. Beloved, if Yahweh so loved us, we ought also to love one another. No man has seen Yah at any time. If we love one another, Yahweh dwells in us, and his love is perfected in us. And hereby know we that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he has given us his Ruach. And we have seen and do testify that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world. Whosoever shall confess that Yahushua is the Son of Elohim, Yahweh dwells in him, and he in Yahweh. And we have known and believed the love that Yahweh has to us. Yah is love. And he that dwells in love dwells in Yahweh, and Yahweh in him. Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness on the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. Okay, as he is, so are we in this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment. He that fears is not made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us. If a man say, I love Yah, and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he that loves not his brother, whom he has seen, how can he love Yah, who he has not seen? And this commandment have we also from him, that he who loves Yah, love his brother also. No man has seen Yah. Okay, there's more to that, to the point that Yehukanan is making there, but it is and it isn't, okay? It is that simple, too. No man has seen Yahweh, but Yahweh dwells in us, okay? And that's where love is not that we loved Yahweh, but that he loved us. And he sent us his Son to be the propitiation for our sin, okay? For our focus on the lusts of the flesh, the things of this world, of Esau, okay, of Edom, of man. Beloved, if Yahweh so loved us, we ought to love one another. No man has seen Yah at any time. If we love one another, Yahweh dwells in us, and his love is perfected in us. Okay, so we have Yaakov wrestling man at night in the dark. Ruach Elohim says, let there be light. Let there be light. Ruach Elohim. Elohim, the master of many powers. El is one. Master. Okay, one. Elohim is plural. Is master of many powers. Elohim. Now, the Ruach Elohim, Ruach Yahweh. All right. This can also be a little bit challenging because we're talking about the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, the Ruach HaKodesh is not just one thing. All right, the Ruach HaKodesh is many things. It's many characteristics. There are many powers, okay? And we see this right here. The Ruach Elohim moved upon the face of the waters in the beginning. The Ruach Elohim, okay? And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. Okay, we see that at the beginning. This is the foundation of the world where Yahushua HaMashiach, let there be light, the light of the world. Okay, but the light of the world is the words of Elohim. Let there be light. Okay, so if our eyes are focused on the way of Elohim, then our body is full of light. Let there be light, which is Yahushua, HaMashiach, the fullness of the way of Yahweh, who had the spirit of Yahweh, the spirit of Elohim on him. Let there be light. Okay, but if we focus on the things of man, then our light is darkness inside of us. And how deep is that darkness? Okay, and Elohim, verse 5 in Bere'shiyth chapter 1 says, Elohim called the light day and the darkness night, and the evening and the morning were echad. It says the first day, but it says the evening and the morning were echad, or one. Okay, the evening and the morning were one. So the day and the night were one. So what we have is Yaakov fighting at night, man. At night, man. And man touches his thigh so he cannot stand up straight. Okay, he's not the upright Yashar'el. But he prevails over the man. All right, and Elohim blesses him. It says, you will no longer be called Yaakov, but Yashar'el, for as a prince you have power with Elohim and with men, and have prevailed. And he says, well, I have seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved. Yaakov is the beginning of the life to come. So, can you see Elohim, and can man see Elohim and live? No. Man cannot see Elohim and live. Why cannot man see Elohim and live? Because we are not always single. We are not always single-minded on the way of Yahweh. We still have that fear, that potential of looking towards the lusts of the flesh to where that light becomes darkness. We cannot see Elohim because we cannot take the fullness of the Ruach HaKodesh. Now, we're told that, we accept Yahushua HaMashiach as the Mashiach, profess him, and then repent. And then we have the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay, that's our baptism of fire. All right, that's what takes and cleans us out. We see fire as the agent now after the water, the purification of the earth through the flood. Okay, or the rebirth of the earth through the water. Now we'll have it through fire. Okay, and fire is purification. Okay, this is a purifying fire. So we're purified by the Ruach HaKodesh as we are immersed in the water, immersed in the Word. Okay, so immersion of water, immersion of fire. And as a human being, though, we are not able to see the goodness. So we talk about the face of El. All right. Moshe says, or Yahweh replies to Moshe, says, I will make all of my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of Yahweh before you. Okay, and that's the same thing that Yahushua said that he did. Okay, proclaim the name of Yahweh, made the name of Yahweh known. John 17. Okay, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, you cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. Okay, we're unable to see that. All right, because we are death, human beings. Now we're born sinful and unclean. That's either the Apostles or the Nicene Creed. Okay, I grew up in a Lutheran church. We have this concept that we are born in rejection and rebellion and acting with hostility already. And it's true, we are. We wake up now and under the mercy that we're not worthy of, and the grace that and the graciousness that he's given through his truth. But we wake up in the middle of the nations that are walking contrary to the way of Yah. Okay, that's with hostility. And we don't know it. We don't realize it until we get that wonderful gift on however hard it is in our physical life that brings us there, or just happens, possibly. But most of the time, like it happened with me, there's going to be some hardship involved with it, because that's how we are as self-willed individuals. We will not listen. And Yah's been calling us from the foundation of the world, let there be light. It's been calling us from the foundation of the world. So we are still coming out of the world, and we are seeking and striving for righteousness, and we're learning what that means. Because right now, Yaakov is struggling with a man at night, and the man hinders him to where he cannot be upright. His socket pops out, so he cannot stand upright. Yashar is upright. So the Yashar'el, the upright of El. Okay? That's the life to come. Okay? To be the upright of El. Now, we will not have the fullness of the way of Yah until Yahusha returns. And that's when we will get the new heart and the heart of flesh. But up until that point, those who will be seeking righteousness, we will have our comforter that is given to us through Yahusha HaMashiach. So, we will seek righteousness. And we are required to come out of the way of man, because no man can see the face of Elohim and live. That is truly the bottom line. The way of man is the lust of the flesh. That's why it's such an important topic that the apostles were talking about. The end of the first epistle of John says, "Little children, get rid of your idols." Get rid of your idols. That's how he ends that. To me, that is such a powerful ending to a letter. Says chapter 5 verse 21 says, "Little children, keep yourself from idols." Amen. Keep yourself from idols. Because if we have our single eye, our light, okay, our light shines out and we spring forth water, living water, okay. But if our eye, knowing the way of Yah, but if our eye sees the lust of the flesh, it's how dark we are. We have this account of Yaakov fighting with man, fighting with those desires inside of him, to where it shows us what is happening here, that we are struggling, and this is our struggle until the light comes again, which is Yahusha HaMashiach. But our struggle and everything around us will do everything it can to hinder us. Popped his thigh out of socket to where he could not stand upright. Okay, could not stand upright. But he prevailed. Okay, he prevailed. And he says, "I've seen Elohim face to face, and my life is preserved." We're called to endure. Okay, that's call to endurance. That's the majority of the letters here, of the goals here, is to keep our eyes single on the way of Yahweh and to endure in it, to get rid of everything else that is causing our light to be darkness. So, to see Elohim face to face, and his life is preserved. We have a struggle here that is our struggle. Our struggle is man. We are wrestling at night in the dark right now. We are currently living in the dark. The light will come when Yahushua returns, because he is the light. But we are currently struggling with the way of the flesh. Now, we know the way of Yahweh, and we have the comforter, we have our teacher, our guide that tells us, don't go this way, this is the way, walk in it. Okay, we're told all of these things in his word. And that's where we have to go for it. We have to go to his word for all of our guidance and for our strength. That is where we prevail. It's through Elohim, the master of many powers, the Ruach HaKodesh. That's where we prevail. Okay, we're going to stop right there for today. And I hope this teaching has opened your eyes a little bit, like it's opened my eyes. This has been something that my day, I've been very blessed. Feel that I've been very blessed. Well, I know that I've been blessed because we're talking about this now. But in the sense of an understanding of being able to put together things in his word, larger pieces for how it truly affects us today. Like how do we take this and internalize this information? Because that's the instructions. That's what we should be doing. We should be looking here and say, well, is this me? What's happening here? And how can I take this account and change with that? I'll make a change in my life. And this was very challenging for me. But this is the way, because it comes down to our struggle living in the dark today, and our struggle with man, and how that hindrance, and we're not talking about other people around us, although they play a factor into that overall struggle, it's us. We're man. We're Adam, we're man. And we want to fight against the way of Yah. And we know that Yaakov is the life to come. Okay, Esau is the world that's passing away, and Yaakov is the life, the world to come. So, to be able to make it, okay, to endure, as the apostles tell us all throughout, to be able to get rid of our idols, to first of all recognize what our idols are in our life. What are we making idols that we're putting in between us and Elohim? And if we're making a version of Yahweh or a version of Yahusha, okay, we have to be very careful here, because he tells us who he is in his word. We cannot make up our own version of our Messiah and our Creator, because it's in his word, and we have to seek him through his word. That's seeking righteousness, the right, okay, to walk in his way. With the example of Yahushua HaMashiach, who to walk as he walked. So, this has helped me to even more to see the importance of stepping away from the things of this life, which is passing away, and to focus even more so intently on the life to come. Okay, so we'll come back here tomorrow with Parashah Vayishlach, and we'll continue on with following Yaakov, and with our study with our other portion tomorrow. Thank you.